Well, hello everyone, I'm Jackson Haney from Insane Internet Wrestling, and welcome to Wrestling Done Right, where I take wrestling storylines that I feel didn't live up to expectations and try to make them better, all for the sake of good storytelling. You know how it goes. WrestleMania 40 Night 2, Part 1 is there. Let's not waste any more time. Here we go. Let me see what I can do. We begin Night 2, Tribal Combat. Jimmy versus Jay. This is a match that I really didn't ever think would happen, but it's also a match I cannot wait to see. They have been building this since SummerSlam, and initially, I was against this. I really was, because why would they turn on each other when they beat Roman Reigns and Money in the Bank? Made no sense to me, and it still really doesn't make sense to me. But you can tweak it. You can make it work. Jimmy is jealous. He's seen what Jay's done in the past 4 years. So he wants a bit of that spotlight. He's sick of main event Jay Uso. He's only in the position he's in because Jimmy got hurt. But now, Jimmy's here. Jimmy has been here, and he's not going to tolerate it anymore. There is only room for one Uso in WWE. So, Tribal Combat is arranged. And that is really all the story you need. Sure, the thing has been building for literal decades when it comes to them being actual family, but you really don't need that much of a story. The Bloodline saga is already intricate as it is, so you don't need to make this any more complicated than tired of your success, so I'm going to beat you until you're not successful. That's pretty much it. It's yeet versus no yeet. To yeet or not to yeet? That is the question. And the answer to that question is yeet, because Jey Uso wins. Now I know I just made that whole point about Jimmy being jealous, but you can make Jimmy look strong in defeat. You can have an even match where Jimmy loses, but is still over. Perfect example of this. Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker in 2002. On an episode of Raw, they had a ladder match for the WWE title, and Jeff Hardy came out of it looking like a motherfucking superstar. JR was screaming on commentary, "Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous." Hardy got over in defeat. Jimmy can do the same thing. So Jay beats Jimmy, and after the match, they can do the thing where they give a handshake and then they point at each other. You know, that thing. And then if you want to put them back together, you can. Or if you don't. It's really that simple. Next up, the Kabuki Warriors versus Katana Chance and Caden Carter, who I will forever call KC Squared, because I think it just fits. They are fighting for the women's tag team titles, and they are doing it in a ladder match. I know. I have no right to be showing the women's tag titles this kind of love. But it's the Kabuki Warriors, who are great, possibly the greatest women's tag champs ever. Maybe. Chance and Carter are great in their own right. They have unbelievable chemistry, and that translates into success, like with any good team. Now, I'm doing a ladder match because it plays to the strengths of the wrestlers involved. Kairi and Katana are high flyers, and Kaden and Asuka will beat the ever-loving crap out of you. So, everything fits in this match. And if you'll remember from last time, the theme of this WrestleMania is the disillusion of the successive factions. So KC Squared gets the victory, because Damage Control has been running WWE's women's division for a year and a half now. And it's time for them to pump the brakes just a little bit. They're having their hold all the gold moment. Probably the first women's stable to do that ever. I could be wrong, but I don't know. So yeah, pump the brakes a little bit. Rethink things. Maybe break them up. Maybe have them focus their attention somewhere else. You never know. There's always time to think. But in the meantime, giving the belts to KC Squared. What they do after that, I don't care. What I do care about is this next match, because it's big. Gunther versus Sheamus. Intercontinental title, 2 out of 3 falls. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to flat out say it. Sheamus beats Gunther. Now I know it's a really weird time to have them do it, but all good things must come to an end. And WrestleMania 40, along with being the dissolution of the successive factions, like I keep saying over and over, is a changing of the guard. Judgment Day is gone. The Kabuki Warriors lose their titles. Io loses her title. LA Knight is a champion now. Gunther's history-making title reign comes to an end. And also one more thing that, trust me, we will get to. But what this match does is accomplishes two things. It gives Sheamus the Grand Slam, something he has yet to accomplish in his illustrious career, which it really is when you think about it. And it sets Gunther up for bigger things. Sets him up for a possible world heavyweight title run, maybe a win at Bash in Berlin coming up in August. So Sheamus beats Gunther 2 falls to 1, winning the Intercontinental title. And after the match, Gunther shakes his hand. That's it. Shakes his hand, walks to the back. And that's all. Now this next match is tricky. It's Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. And it's going to accomplish two things. It's going to kickstart the success of Santos Escobar in terms of a singles run. And it's also going to act as the swan song for Rey Mysterio. The match is a straight up singles match. No obscure stipulations, nothing like that. It's just a one-on-one match with a lot of callbacks to Rey versus Eddie from their days in WCW. And there's one stipulation though. If Rey loses, he must retire. And Rey loses. So, yeah, it's weird to think about, but it feels right in a way. Rey has done everything. He's been to the top of the division in WCW. He's done it all in WWE. He's performed all over the world. Mexico, Japan. He's done stuff in ECW, Lucha Underground, CMLL. He was at All In, which was a monumental show. He's done everything. He has nothing left to prove. So, the way I see it, we have him put over an up-and-coming talent that has a bright future in this company. Someone that he's worked with and someone that he knows is the future of the business. So Rey loses, but we're not done yet. He walks up the entrance ramp and he is confronted by Dominic Mysterio. Dominic is known for being a piece of crap to his dad in terms of character work. But for tonight, he sets all of that aside. He hugs his dad and raises his hand. He puts character aside for one night and acts like Rey's son, showing the dad of all dads the respect he deserves. What more could you ask for a retirement angle? And that is the swan song of Rey Mysterio. I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame, so yeah. Bye-bye Rey. All right, that got a little much, so let's move on. Please, let's move on. Now we're going to have the WrestleMania Showcase 6-Pack Elimination Challenge. If you'll remember from the last video, I had the women's match won by Liv Morgan. This match is the men's match. From Raw, you have Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Andrade. From SmackDown, you have Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. This is a big match, and these guys are here mostly because I don't know what else to do with them. It's a shame, I know, but they really don't have anything going on right now that's noteworthy. So yeah, it's tough, but I think it could work. It's like, making things work is the point of this. I say it a lot, I know, but I genuinely think stuff like this is plausible. And the person I'd have win here is Orton, because I'm setting him up for something after WrestleMania that I think is a nice touch. Next up, a Women's World Championship match pitting Rhea Ripley against Becky Lynch. This match has already been teased on the WrestleMania kickoff thing that they did. And honestly, it's a match I'd like to see, because Rhea and Becky have only really had one match against each other, and I don't think it had a finish. They did it in NXT in the build-up to Survivor Series 2019. The match was great for what it was, but it didn't really have a finish. And this is a different Rhea Ripley, but it's also a different Becky Lynch. I mean, Becky's been around the block several times, so she knows what to expect. But Rhea has completely transformed herself. She is the women's division right now. She is a star. And you keep her a star by keeping the belt on her. Rhea Ripley retains. And she can retain and go into a feud with Liv Morgan. Remember? From last time. And she wins that feud with Liv and then goes into SummerSlam where she finally drops the belt to the new up-and-comer, Jade Cargill. Long-term storytelling at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. But now we have the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, the final match of a weekend of wrestling extravaganza. Triple threat match, undisputed Universal title. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and The Rock. I know, but hear me out. The way things are built right now, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is the match. That's what we're getting. But you can't tell me that The Rock isn't going to be involved in some capacity. He is billed for SmackDown this Friday. So I feel like sooner or later, The Rock is going to insert himself into this match, making it a triple threat. But I want to go back to a theme that I've been covering for both of these videos now. Disillusion. And this is where we see the faction falling apart. Because the bloodline, as it is right now, is already kind of in shambles. Jimmy's allegiance is questionable, and he can leave when he's not getting the respect he deserves, because he already isn't. And he reaches his breaking point, and he leaves. He walks out, Jimmy's done with the bloodline, focuses on his feud with Jay. Solo is where this thing really starts to get heavy. Because Roman has gone on record and said that Solo is the heir to the bloodline. He is next in line to the throne. But Roman, right now, is playing second fiddle to The Rock. And Solo's already playing second fiddle to Roman. So he's tired of being at the bottom rung and wants to work his way up on his own. And in the lead up to WrestleMania, Roman can get frustrated that things aren't going his way. And he can take it out on Solo. Rock notices this and doesn't want it to happen. Roman can tell him to buzz off. He's not the head of the table. I am. And then in the WrestleMania match, Roman looks like he has the match won. He's going to pin Cody, but Solo pulls the ref out from the ring. Costs Roman a chance to win. Beats him up. Gives him the spike. He's done. He is his own man now. And he's at the point where he's been built up so much from this bloodline thing that he can be a mid-card talent easily. He can rule either the US or the IC title division with ease. So yeah, Solo is done. Heyman goes after him. Roman has nobody. Nobody's in his corner. Nobody's there to help him. And Cody fights off Roman and The Rock and pins Roman Reigns. Cody finishes his story and becomes Universal Champion, ending Roman Reigns' record-breaking title reign. And after the match, Roman beats up The Rock just because he can. It's the only thing that gives him some sort of credibility. And from here, you go into a match at SummerSlam. Rock and Roman, tribal combat, winner becomes head of the table. And that is where you have the Bloodline saga come to a close. It's like I said earlier, WrestleMania 40 is a changing of the guard. Roman Reigns losing is proof of that. We start a new era in WWE, the era of the American Nightmare. And that is WrestleMania 40. What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe, and you can follow me on Twitter here. What should I do next? I take requests. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. I'm Jackson Haney from Insane Internet Wrestling, and I will see you soon. I'm exhausted.